We have been having an incredible time in Christchurch, New Zealand.
So far, we've seen the view from the Gondola's Summit Station, walked through the Botanic Gardens, and explored both the Arts Centre and the Tannery. Our final stop is the Woolston Emporium, a collective of curators and makers, antiques, secondhand, and vintage treasures. Eight different traders with business names like Vintage Wonderland, Tiger Vintage, Junk and Disorderly, Gilfedders, Blue Scarlet, Bella Bean, and Grimstone and Treacle are all under one roof at the Woolston Emporium.
So we're here at Woolston Emporium. We understand there are 8 traders and it's a collective.
Yes, there's 8 of us in the building. We all came together about 2 years ago, and we all sell different things. So we all specialise in different forms of antiques and collectibles. We have clothing from the 70s, we have second-hand clothing, we have beautiful glassware from mid-century forward. We have antique furniture, beautiful old antique furniture, sometimes going back a couple of 100 years. We have...
I wish I could get that home.
Yes, it's a bit tricky to fit in the overhead luggage, isn't it?
Especially when I'm already at weight or
we always
over,
are.
right?
We always are, aren't we?
Yeah.
So and then we've got all our vintage collectibles, like some warfare medals, some even sports memorabilia, and then we've got all our fine china, our cut crystal. Yeah,
that's a great segue to what you collect.
Yes,
because you were telling me that this started a long time ago with your first set.
When I was about 16, my grandmother gave me a beautiful plate. It was pink and white, which I've since learnt is red transferware, and it was British, and it was Castles of Britain, and I thought it was the most beautiful thing. It had beautiful big roses and oak leaves around its border, and this beautiful castle and this old-fashioned scenery in it, and I just fell in love with it and started collecting from that age. So my grandmother, her maiden name is Gilfedders, so that's what I stuck with for my business of collecting treasures.
Well, it's hard for some people to say
Gilfedders.
I'm going to let you be the one who says it. But since then, you have amassed this amazing collection of china. And I guess part of my concern is, how do you ever let it go? When you find these beautiful pieces, how can you let them go?
So you refine your collection at home, and I'm not as bad now, so it's sort of 9 out of 10 pieces make it to the shop now.
Pretty good percentage, right?
So I've come full circle, and I just love to share what I love with other people, and it's the joy. It's just things that give us joy when we look at them, when we use them. They give us wonderful memories of times gone by and people who are sometimes no longer with us. Yes, I just love all that, and I love the history behind things too.
The story.
I love hearing people's stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
So of the pieces that are here, what has a very interesting story? I mean, probably all of them do, but maybe something that you can pick out that's really interesting. That was putting you on the spot, wasn't it?
It sure has. It sure has. I still have a soft spot for the red transferware. I love roses because I'm a florist and a gardener, so I love roses and floral bits and pieces.
Well, I noticed this group down here with these beautiful roses.
Yes.
That's stunning.
It's stunning.
The combination of the sort of pinky red.
And with the heavy gold on it. So this is Royal Albert. This is a pattern they've been making for a really, really long time. It was very popular. A lot of women got it for their 21st back in the 40s, 50s and 60s. So there's a lot of it around, and also with this pattern here. Yeah, so it's just gorgeous.
I think you don't see stripes
all
that often, do you?
So this is Villeroy and Bosch, and this is a vintage piece, but it's more mid-century.
It looks
rather than-
mid-century,
yeah.
yes.
And you've got the coffee pot here and the matching sugar and creamer, and it's just stunning. It makes a statement on its own, and yet it can still go with your
That's
older
true.
pieces.
And do you find people do that they have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they just kind of make it all work?
Look, in Christchurch you have to. We lost so much in the earthquakes that people have to mix and match, and there's nothing wrong with it. One of my favourite collections is my side plates. So they're like cake plates or pastry plates, and they're all different patterns, but in shades of purple and mauve.
Oh,
so
nice.
they go together, but they don't. But
Right.
it still works. Yeah. So you don't have to be matchy. It looks pretty. It looks nice, but you don't have to be. Yeah.
You know, I think there's something nice too about collecting over time. And as you go places, you pick up something from there and something from there, and they don't. They're not from the same set.
And as well as having the memories of getting friends together and using the pieces, you've got the memory of where you picked it up from.
That's right.
And your holiday there, or your stop over there, or the side of the road purchase in the middle of nowhere. So you've got all those memories mixed in with these things as well.
I do like to shop everywhere I go. So we were over at the China,
Yes.
and now we have made our way over to the crystal. And I guess my question is kind of the same. How did you get started collecting crystal?
Well, often crystal and fine china sit side by side on a table anyway. So it's just a natural progression. When I'm buying, they're often sold together. And I always keep an eye out for it. I've learnt the difference between cut crystal and formed crystal, and crystal that comes from all over the different parts of the world, and it's just gorgeous. The way the light hits it, the specialness of an occasion by putting crystal on a table. Just
There's something about it, isn't there?
Takes it up a notch
To the next
doesn't it?
level.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so readily available now. There's so many different countries and different manufacturers of it, that it's not just for the wealthy and the wealthy tables. Anybody can have a couple of crystal bowls on their table with little chocolate nuts in there or something.
And it doesn't have to be formal entertaining
No,
either,
it
does
doesn't.
it?
No.
It elevates a casual table.
And they're multi-purpose. You can put your jewellery in it, in the bathroom, or on your
That's right.
on your kitchen bench while you're doing the dishes. There's all sorts of uses. You don't have to just keep it.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
For
You know,
food,
when I graduated from high school, my aunt gave me a crystal candy dish.
Yes.
And at the time, I was so young, I didn't appreciate that I was going to have that forever. And the people who got me like a dictionary and a calculator, those are long gone. But I have the crystal candy dish.
Yes.
So there's something about a piece that you will keep forever.
And
right?
how many different ways have you used it? And how many different occasions have you brought it out that you've shared
Exactly.
it with others? Yeah.
Exactly. Now, you were mentioning about the difference between cut crystal and molded. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't want you to have to reach over and knock anything over, but
so you can usually feel it.
you can feel.
You can usually feel it. Like cut crystal has a sharper edge, and molded crystal, see, so that's molded. See, it's got a rounder edge.
Okay.
And when it's cut crystal, it's cut by hand.
Ah.
Yeah. And then you have your different grades of crystal depending on the lead content of them.
And that has a lot to do with the weight, doesn't it?
Yes. So the more lead in a piece, the whiter and the more it gleams, but it's heavier too.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell by looking?
Yes, I can tell by looking whether a piece is glass.
Yes, that doesn't have any crystal. And this has some crystal, is that right?
So you can see the difference in this piece. See the colour and the way the light catches it.
Mm-hmm.
And in, it's not cut, but see the difference even in the colour of them. Yeah.
Okay.
And just the way the light comes through them. So this
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So the more lead that's in it, is that the more expensive, or does it have more to do with the cuts?
It's actually everything, because it's also getting a fine lip on the top. See, that's not terribly fine. If you go to your higher priced crystal, it's so fine you're scared to touch it.
Oh.
And then everybody talks about
Yes, the ding.
Yeah, the ding.
and does that have anything to do with the note of where it dings? If it's high, it's
no,
it
that's
Okay.
it, because it'll change with the product, whether it's a glass, a bowl, and the size of it. And as people will know, if you put liquid in it at different levels, it will ping at different levels, because you can actually make music.
Yes, you can make music.
I have seen that. Yeah.
Well, you're very knowledgeable about the crystal. So as we were standing here, she was saying, what am I going to talk about? And I said, we'll just have a conversation. And look how much information you have given us.
Off the top of my head.
Exactly.
A pleasing mix of old and new, retro, gently used, and upcycled. You never know what you'll find at the Woolston Emporium.
At just over an hour flight from Auckland, Christchurch is completely different from the North Island and not to be missed if you are in New Zealand. I'm Ms. World Traveler Kerry Damiano, reminding you to travel safe, shop smart, dress well, and be grateful for every day.